Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. We've got a really good one to grind for today. This one's worthy of the happy dance. The Whopper button.
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
And he's got some bagels.
We got bagels. Whoa!
I'm talking about this 92 rated team of the season Barella. He has absolutely everything you look for in a midfielder. I'm going to go over the best way, the fastest way. I'm going to share with you a squad to use to dominate this challenge. But before we begin, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. So first and foremost, we have 5 separate objectives to get complete, to knock them out, to get them into your club. But before I begin, let me just say we can do this in golden goal, so help each other out. Try to, if you go down a goal, just leave. Don't worry about it. There are a couple things that, if you come across a couple people, not everyone will play golden goal. So if you do come across a couple who don't play golden goal, don't worry about it. Just try to knock out some of these other objectives, like this first one. GOLAZZO, score 3 outside of the box goals in the live foot friendly Serie A Select. So it's another brand new friendly. This one is interesting because you have to have 11 separate Serie A clubs. So you had to really think about what you wanted to take into your team. I will share with you a good starting point for crafting a team to knock out this objective, but we'll get to that shortly. So this one I would focus on more when you're playing someone who doesn't play golden goal. So, if you have someone that doesn't leave after you go up, then just start focusing on your outside of the box goals. Maybe also focus on this next one, assist 4 goals using CM. So notice it says CMs, it doesn't say midfielder. So if you've got a cam and you play him at CM, it's not going to matter. It's what's on the card before you go into the match. So right there you can see Barella is a CM. If you position modified a card to cam, and even if you play him as a CM, it doesn't matter. It's what's on the card before you go to the match. So if you've got a cam and a CDM and no CMs on your club, you're not going to be able to do this objective. You have to have at least 1 CM in the team, and it's assist 4 goals. So you could get this one knocked out in one match and this one knocked out in one match. If you're playing someone who's not playing golden goal, then try to focus on these 2 objectives. Next one, score 15 goals in the live foot friendly, and that will just come naturally as you play, especially if you have a couple people that don't play golden goal. So these 3 are the ones more to focus on when you're not playing someone who does golden goal. Then we have winning ways, win 8 matches. If we play golden goal, as we should, that will just take place. You'll go up a goal early, your opponent leaves, that's a win, it counts as an objective. But there is a big but. We have to be careful. The objective only really ticks down if you score using Italian players. So we need to make sure we are using Italian players. So if you score with Cristiano Ronaldo and your opponent leaves, that did not help you at all because Cristiano is Portuguese. If you score with Dybala, that doesn't help you. He's Argentinian. If you score with Vidal's foot birthday card, that doesn't count. He's Chilean. So you've got to make sure we're scoring with Italian players. And it's actually a little bit hard because there's not that many just dynamite Italian, or not, I won't say that. There's not that many usable FIFA Italian players in Serie A, which is kind of crazy when you think about it that way. But let me share with you the team that I'm going to recommend. And again, I'll point it out to you this way. When I propose a team on this one, when there's no rating requirement, there's no rating restriction, this is just kind of a starting point. These are some of the best cards you can buy, best value cards you can buy that will be usable in the game. So I'm not going to recommend Cristiano and Dybala, just these cards that are going to cost a lot of coins, because I'm trying to give you the best bang for your buck. But let me show you the squad. And again, you have to have 11 separate squads to go into the team. I guess first and foremost, let's look at this Barella. This card is absolute fire, guys. This one looks amazing. 91 pace, 93 acceleration, 89 sprint speed, very strong shooting. So if you do want to get him forward a little bit, he's going to be able to bang us some goals. Great passing, good agility and balance, good defending, good strength. You could certainly, if you want to make him just a pure CDM, you could put an anchor on him, would make him 98 acceleration, 94 sprint speed, would boost his strength, would boost his defending. You could also certainly put a shadow on him, max out his pace, max him out with the defending as much as possible. You could also put an engine on him if you want him to be a little bit more of a two-way midfielder and you want to get that agility and balance up a little bit more, passing up a little bit more. You could certainly do that. You could play him a lot of different ways. It's a really strong card. but his work rates are medium high, so he's going to be able to drop back a little bit more for you. So I think you're probably going to be looking at putting an anchor, putting a shadow on him, making him more of that defensive midfielder or a two-way mid that maybe gets forward a little, but primary responsibility is to defend. No player traits to speak about, but still a really strong card. Great agility, great balance, great composure, great reaction. Just a really, really strong card. If you look at his defending, the only really poor defending stats in both defending and physical, heading accuracy and jumping, which really is not that important in this FIFA, especially for someone who's going to be in the middle of the park. You know, maybe if he was a center back, could potentially be an issue, but even there, it's not really that big of a deal. So super, super strong card. One of the best objective cards we've had all year. So really, really like that one. As far as the team I recommend, notice I've got 4 Italians up top. And I'm not necessarily saying this would be the formation I would run. This is just how I'm getting them linked in. So we are going to have to spend a little bit of money on Insigne, but I feel like it's so crucial that you have to score with an Italian player. Where I'm looking at this gold Insigne, so you may want to try to scoop him up. He is in team of the season, so his base card is not going to be getting that resupply, so his card may go up in value, especially as people are looking to buy these Italian cards. So, but he's a really strong Italian card, a really strong Italian Serie A card, so I would recommend trying to go for Insigne. Next, I'm going to be looking at Verdi. This Verdi card is sometimes overlooked. He has 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. Notice that his pace is a little bit poor, but one thing, if you guys are having any trouble with any of these, look at Catalyst Chem Styles. Those are generally 2, 3, 400 coins. Very cheap, will up his pace. So Verdi, with the plus 10 from a Catalyst, would go to 94 acceleration, 90 sprint speed, which would be more than usable. Plus, with the 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves is going to help a lot. The other one that can be a bit of a problem sometimes to come across is this Lasagna. Has really good pace, really strong card. You could, if you put a Catalyst on Lasagna, he actually goes to 99 acceleration, 99 sprint speed, with okay shooting, and 3-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. But again, you're just trying to bang in some goals with Italians. And then Lazzari on the right side has decent pace, horrific shooting, but I mean, it's just kind of those. You have to take the good with the bad on some of these cards just for the cost of what you're getting. So Lazzari is someone that I would recommend on these. So you kind of, I feel like you want 4 Italians at the top, just because you don't want to like have a ball fall. Like say if instead of Verdi, I had that flashback Dybala, or was it whatever, moments Dybala, flashback Dybala, whatever, that awesome Dybala SBC from earlier, and the ball just falls to Dybala and he taps it in, your opponent leaves. Didn't help you any. So you got to remember that. So sometimes it doesn't really help you to win, if that makes sense. It only really helps you if you win and score with an Italian. So it's going to be really important to have Italian players up top. Now, we can have some super subs, but we'll take a look at that in just a second. So this is just the base. And the midfield, I'm going to recommend Nainggolan. He's a little bit of a do-everything, going to help you out a lot in the middle of the park. Dominguez is another nice card, and he plays for Bologna, so it's going to be another team. Remember, you have to have 11 separate clubs, so you have to make some choices here. For example, Vidal. If I wanted to play Vidal and put him here, my team is no longer eligible because I have 2 Inter players. So if you go and check your club, which I'll tell you about that in just a second, you need to make sure you're replacing someone that you already have a team for. Mojica is no longer at Atalanta, but I've been recommending all year to keep him. He's a very, very usable left back and is going to take up the Atalanta spot, so I think that would work out really well. Tomori for Milan. If you also have Teo Hernandez can also play center back here instead of Tomori, so keep that in mind. Bruno Perez I'm going to recommend as one of the center backs and taking up the Roma slot. Quadrado at right back, going to be able to get forward for you, open up some space, do a lot of different things at right back, also has 5-star skill moves. And Perrin as our keeper, just because he's representing Genoa, and that's a club that we didn't have represented. Now, what I'm saying here again is this is kind of the base. So what I would recommend you do is then go into your club, see what you have in Serie A. And I honestly don't have a lot in Serie A at this moment. I've got Ibra and not a lot else, but I still do have this foot birthday Vidal. So what I would do is notice I would need to replace Nainggolan with Vidal. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to put Vidal out here when I play, but as I mentioned, I couldn't put Vidal here and play Vidal and Nainggolan together because you have to have 11 separate clubs. I've got this Udinese player. I don't remember if it was Wallace. I don't remember if he was part of those. I don't think he was part of the Samba Stars. I think he came separately. This Wallace card is really strong. I could play him over Dominguez for sure. And even notice there, this 74 Wallace has much better stats than Dominguez, but I know not everybody has this Wallace. Torregrossa is also one I'm going to look to play. I may play him over Verdi. Let's see. Yeah, Torregrossa has better pace, better shooting, a little less dribbling, but I'm going to play Torregrossa as a Silver Stars objective that I have. Now, a couple other Italians. One thing you may want to keep in mind, there are 2 lone Italian icons out there at the moment. So you could complete the Pirlo loan and you could complete the Del Piero loan and make some subs on if you don't have any problems playing with lone players. I don't really like playing with lone players, but it may be worth it on this challenge just because there's not a ton of great Italians that you can use to bang in goals. So what you can do though, and also notice Pirlo is a CM, so we could bring Pirlo on. If we could get some assists with Pirlo, that would count as our CM objective. Then we could also have Del Piero, really strong card. So you could have 2 lone icons that you could bring into your club on the bench for a little bit of nothing. Then also a couple team of the seasons that you may have. Moise Keane was from the very first one team of the season community. I know a lot of people packed him. I think I packed him twice, but I've used them in SBC since then. If you still have that card, would be a great one to use for this challenge. Chiesa would be another great one. He had an SBC at the very beginning. But also remember, if I bring on Chiesa, then I've got to make a change here. I can no longer have Quadrado. So just keep that in mind as you make these changes. You've got to replace them. Berardi just got a team of the season, so he would be a great replacement for Lazzari if you happen to get him. He may be the most packed team of the season this week, so a lot of us may end up with Berardi. And then, of course, Immobile. Immobile, I didn't want to recommend having to buy an 87 rated card, but Immobile is also, again, he's going to need a pace boost. If you can't buy one with a Hunter, buy a Catalyst. His shooting is already really, really strong. So that would get him up to 92 acceleration, 95 sprint speed, which would be very usable. So Immobile could be another great option if you happen to have him in your team. But just, again, remember, if you make any changes, you've got to have 11 separate clubs, which makes it a little bit hard. But I kind of enjoy it. I like kind of doing the squad building things. But anyways, guys, just going to wrap it up for now. Let me know if you have any questions down below. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below. Check the description. Join my Discord. Follow me on Twitter. All of that good stuff. But I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.